The Great Hall of the Galaxy Council was usually a quiet place. Thousands of alien delegates sat in curved rows, speaking softly, sharing reports, and discussing peaceful matters. But today, something felt different. A low tension filled the air, like a storm waiting to fall. Then it happened. A sharp beep echoed through the hall. At first, no one reacted. But then the lights flickered, and every screen in the massive chamber suddenly turned bright red. A loud alarm roared across the room, deep, metallic, and urgent. Delegates jumped from their seats. Some covered their ears. Others looked around in confusion. What is happening? An old reptilian counselor shouted. A glowing message appeared across all screens. Emergency alert. Earth is under attack. The entire hall fell silent. Earth, the human homeworld, under attack? Many aliens exchanged fearful looks. Humans were known for being unpredictable. They were strong, emotional, and brave. Peaceful at times, dangerous at other times. If someone was attacking Earth, then something serious was happening. At the center of the chamber, High Speaker Lorak rose from his chair. His voice trembled as he said, "Show us the live feed." Instantly, the main screen zoomed in on Earth. Smoke covered several continents. Strange, dark ships entered the atmosphere. Energy blasts lit up the sky. Gasps filled the hall. One delegate whispered, "Who would attack the humans? No one is foolish enough to provoke them." Another responded nervously, "Unless the enemy is stronger than we know." A robotic advisor tapped the console. "We are scanning the invading ships. Their design does not match any known species." Confusion spread. Unknown ships? Unknown weapons? Unknown enemy? On the screen, a blast hit a human city. Fire spread. Buildings fell. But then something surprising happened. Humans on the ground began to fight back immediately. Small groups used fast vehicles and strange weapons to slow the attackers. "Look," an alien murmured, "they are not running." More live feeds appeared. Human jets chased enemy fighters. Soldiers coordinated defense teams. Civilians helped each other escape danger. The Galaxy Council was shocked. Most species froze when attacked. But humans moved like they had prepared for this day. A younger council member whispered, "How are they adapting so fast?" "They had no warning." The robotic advisor added, "Human response time is unusually quick. Their tactics are changing every minute." From the high speaker's seat, Lorak stared at the destruction with narrow eyes. He felt something cold in his chest. If Earth fell, billions would die. But something even worse might happen. If the attackers defeated humanity, one of the galaxy's most unpredictable species, then no world would be safe. A deep rumble shook the hall as the alarm continued. Delegates shouted over one another, "Should we intervene?" "No. If humans win, they might blame us." "And if humans lose?" No one had an answer. Suddenly, a louder alarm rang. The screen zoomed closer to one of the alien battleships. Strange symbols glowed on its hull, symbols that had not been seen for thousands of years. The robotic advisor gasped. "This is impossible. These ships belong to a species we believed extinct." Silence. Cold, heavy silence. Lorak slowly whispered, "If they have returned, then Earth is only their first target." A final message flashed across the screens. "Humanity requests nitrogen monoxide aid. They will fight alone." The council stared in disbelief. Humans were not surrendering. They were not begging for help. They were preparing for war. And for the first time in many years, the Galaxy Council felt true fear. The hall of the Galaxy Council remained heavy with fear. The red alarms finally stopped, but the silence that followed was worse. Every delegate felt the weight of the moment pressing on their chest. Earth was under attack, and no one knew what would happen next. High Speaker Lorak looked around the chamber. Hundreds of alien faces stared back at him, some pale, some trembling, some frozen in shock. It was clear the council had no plan for this situation. Lorak lifted his hand. "We begin an emergency session. All delegates, speak freely." Immediately, chaos broke loose. A feathered delegate stood first. "Humans are dangerous. If Earth falls, the attackers will grow stronger. We must stop this now." Another alien, a tall blue-skinned being, slammed the desk. "No, if we interfere, humans will think we mistrust them. They will turn their anger toward us instead." Voices clashed like weapons in battle. "They are asking for no help. They do not understand the threat. They are too unpredictable. They might win on their own." Lorak struck his staff on the ground. Boom! The noise echoed through the hall, forcing everyone into silence again. "Enough," he said firmly. "We must look at the facts." He gestured to the screens. The live view of Earth was still displayed. Burning cities, falling ships, human forces fighting with fierce determination. "Our drones are gathering data," Lorak continued. "Let us examine what is truly happening." A smaller screen activated next to him. Drone footage showed a battlefield in Europe. Human soldiers took cover behind damaged vehicles, firing energy weapons the Council had never seen before. A soft gasp spread through the hall. Where did humans get such weapons? Someone whispered. The robotic advisor stepped forward. "Analysis suggests these weapons were built recently. Very recently. It seems humanity has been secretly upgrading their technology." Delegates panicked again. Why would they do that? Are they preparing for war? Against who? Lorak shook his head. "No, humans do not prepare for war unless danger is close. They must have sensed something. Perhaps they knew an attack was coming." More confusion followed. A floating jelly-like delegate hummed nervously. "But if they knew, why did they not warn the Council?" A reptilian voice answered from behind. "Because humans do not trust the Council." Everyone turned. The speaker was Councillor Verith, known for his blunt honesty. He continued, "We have watched them for years. We judged their actions. We studied them like animals in a zoo. We interfered in their politics. Why would they warn us now?" The words struck the room like lightning. Verith stepped forward. "Humans choose to fight alone, not because they are proud, but because they have never truly felt safe with us." Silence. Heavy and uncomfortable. The robotic advisor then interrupted. More drone footage received. The main screen changed again. This time, it showed an enormous structure rising from Earth's oceans metallic, glowing with blue light. Delegates gasped loudly. "Is that human technology? Impossible! They cannot build something so large. When did they construct it?" Lorak stared at the structure with wide eyes. "That is not a weapon. That is a shield generator." Humans were building protection fast, powerful, and far beyond their expected abilities. The Council exchanged worried glances. "If humans survive this attack," whispered a delegate, "their power will grow, and if they fall?" Someone else asked. Lorak answered quietly, "Then the attackers will move to the next world. And then the next, until none of us are left." Fear tightened around the room again. The advisor added, "We still do not know the identity of the attackers." Lorak took a deep breath. "Then we must find out before humanity faces them alone." The Council agreed, but each member felt a cold truth settle inside their hearts. The galaxy was changing, and everything depended on what happened on Earth next. The Galaxy Council Hall was filled with glowing screens showing every corner of Earth. Delegates watched closely, expecting destruction, expecting humans to fall. But something strange began to happen, something no one was prepared for. The humans were not losing. In fact, they were fighting back harder than anyone expected. A drone feed zoomed into a battlefield near the Pacific coast. Enemy ships rained energy beams onto the ground, but human forces moved with speed and precision. Soldiers took cover behind broken towers and crashed vehicles, using every piece of terrain to their advantage. A small team of humans sprinted across a ruined street. One soldier held a strange device that glowed with blue energy. "What is that they're carrying?" An alien delegate asked. The robotic advisor quickly scanned the footage. "Unknown, human-made, not in our database." The soldier activated the device. A shockwave burst out, creating a dome of shimmering light. Enemy fire hit the dome but bounced off harmlessly. "It's a portable shield." Someone shouted in disbelief. The council hall rose into chaos again. How did humans create such tech? This is not normal progress. They are advancing too fast. Lorak raised a hand for silence, but his own heart was racing. Humans were surprising them again. And again, the drones shifted to another battlefield, this time in orbit. A small group of human fighter ships flew straight toward an enormous enemy cruiser. The cruiser dwarfed them, its weapons glowing with deadly power. The human ships split into 3 groups, performing a synchronized maneuver no alien fleet had ever attempted. They twisted, rolled, and spiraled toward the cruiser at speeds that made even robotic observers glitch. Then dash flash. A human ship emitted a burst of coded light. The other fighters followed instantly, forming a tight formation. "What is that?" Lorak whispered. The robotic advisor answered. "A new human tactic. Not documented. Possibly developed during battle." The formation charged forward and released a storm of missiles. The enemy cruiser tried to block, but the missiles changed direction, mid-flight hitting weak points in the cruiser's hull. Boom. The entire ship exploded, sending shockwaves across space. The council gasped in unison. How did humans know where the weak points were? Did they study this enemy before? Or are they learning during the fight? The advisor added, "Human tactics are evolving at extreme speed. Their soldiers are coordinating without central command. This is highly unusual." Lorak frowned. Humans fight with emotion. They adapt because they must survive. The next drone feed appeared, this one showing a secret bunker deep beneath Earth's surface. Human scientists were working around the clock, typing, testing, and building machines with incredible speed. Sparks flew. Engines roared. New weapons were being assembled as soon as old ones failed. A council member whispered in awe, They are inventing during the war." Another adjusted his glasses. "Impossible. No species can innovate this quickly." But humans were proving them wrong. Meanwhile, on the surface, a group of human civilians helped soldiers reload supplies. Even children carried water and energy cells to the front lines. The unity was shocking. Why are the civilians helping? Where is their fear? They looked determined, not broken. Lorak spoke quietly. This is humanity's strength. When they are pushed to the edge, they do not collapse. They rise. A sudden alert flashed on the main screen. New signal detected, source human command. A transmission played, showing a human commander covered in dust and smoke. His voice was rough but steady. To anyone listening, we will not surrender. We will defend our home. If the enemy wants Earth, they will pay for every step they take. The feed ended. A heavy silence fell on the council. The robotic advisor concluded. Humans are not only defending Earth, they are preparing for a counterattack. Lorak's eyes widened. Humanity was changing the course of the war. And the galaxy was watching. The Galaxy Council Hall felt colder than before. Even the bright screens could not warm the fear spreading among the delegates. Earth was fighting back with power and speed. But the attackers remained mysterious. No name, no symbol, no communication. Only destruction. High Speaker Lorak stood at the center as new drone data flowed in. His voice was steady, but his eyes showed worry. We cannot help humanity if we do not know who they are fighting. We must identify the enemy. The robotic advisor nodded and opened a new hologram. Strange enemy ships rotated slowly in the air above the council floor. Their surfaces were dark, filled with sharp angles and glowing red lines. Some parts of the ships looked like they were alive, pulsing like a heartbeat. Delegates shivered. These designs, the advisor said, do not match any living species. A reptilian delegate hissed. Then who built them? A new empire? No, the advisor answered. Something older. The room grew tense. Older? Lorik repeated. How old? The advisor hesitated. Thousands of years. Possibly more. A wave of shock rolled through the chamber. A bird-like delegate flapped his wings nervously. Impossible. No species from that era survived. All ancient empires collapsed long before humans even reached space. But the advisor shook his head. Then explain this. Another hologram lit up, this one showing ancient ruins from a forgotten planet. Symbols carved in stone glowed faintly, exactly matching the symbols on the enemy ships. Delegates gasped loudly. It cannot be them. They vanished before recorded history. They were too powerful. Too cruel. Lorik stared at the symbols, feeling dread creep into his chest. Advisor. Confirm the match. The robotic voice spoke slowly, as if afraid of its own answer. The attackers are the Vrakan Dominion. A species believed extinct. A species known for wiping out entire worlds. The council erupted in panic. The Vrakan? They were monsters. They destroyed whole star systems. Why return now? Why attack humans first? Lorik raised his staff, but even he struggled to speak. This changes everything. The advisor continued. Historical data suggests the Vrakan disappeared after a great war. But their technology survived in hidden places. They may have been rebuilding, waiting, recovering. But why Earth? A delegate asked. Silence followed. No one knew. Another screen lit up with more alarming footage. Vrakan soldiers, tall mechanical creatures with dark armor, walked through human streets, scanning bodies, collecting technology, ignoring fallen buildings like they were meaningless. A thin delegate trembled. They are not conquering. They are harvesting. Lorik's eyes darkened. They want something specific from Earth, but what? Resources? Human DNA? Energy? A weapon buried on the planet? The advisor brought up one more file, a sealed historical record. The Vrakan sought planets with strong adaptive species. They believed such species produced rare energy patterns during war. They fed on conflict. A chill went through the room. So they want humans to fight? They want fear? They want destruction? Lorik whispered. They want to break humanity and grow stronger from it. Another alarm beeped. The drones reported a new discovery. A massive Vrakan command ship entering Earth's orbit. Its size filled the entire screen, darkening everything beneath it. Delegates panicked again. This is the beginning of a full invasion. Earth cannot stop that. Even we cannot stop that. But suddenly, the drone feed showed something unexpected. Small human ships rising toward the massive structure. Humans are attacking it, the advisor announced. Lorik stared in disbelief. They know who they are facing. And still, they fight. A deep silence filled the hall as the council realized something terrifying. If humanity falls, the Vrakan will not stop. They will move to the next world. And then the next. Until the galaxy is silent. Lorik spoke with fear and respect mixed in his voice. We must watch closely. Humanity's survival may decide our own fate. The Galaxy Council hall buzzed with fear as the Vrakan command ship filled every screen. It was enormous, so large that it blocked sunlight from reaching Earth's surface. Delegates stared, speechless, expecting humans to run, hide, or surrender, but the humans did something else. They attacked. A drone camera followed, several small human ships rising from Earth's atmosphere. Their engines glowed a bright blue, brighter than anything the Council had seen before. The ships looked old and damaged, but they moved with purpose, like arrows shot from a mighty bow. Lorik leaned forward. "What are they doing?" "That ship is too powerful." The advisor replied, "Unknown. Humans should retreat, yet they advance." The human ships split into tight formations and began firing small missiles at the Vraken cruiser. The missiles looked weak compared to the giant enemy vessel, but each explosion chipped away tiny pieces of armor. A nervous delegate whispered, "They are trying to cut through the armor layer by layer." Another shook his head. "That would take hours. The Vraken will destroy them." But something changed. More human ships launched from hidden bunkers, hundreds of them. Some were military fighters, others were civilian ships converted for combat. Their engines flickered, clearly overloaded, yet they pushed forward. The Council watched in shock. They are sending everything they have. Even untrained pilots. Even damaged ships. Humanity had chosen not to wait for death. They chose to strike back. Suddenly, the Vraken command ship fired a massive beam toward the approaching human fleet. The light was blinding, pure destructive energy. "It's over," one delegate whispered sadly, but the beam hit something unexpected. A giant blue shield appeared around the human fleet. The same type of energy shield humans had used earlier on the ground, but now far larger, large enough to protect multiple ships. "How?" a delegate gasped. "When did they build this?" Lorik stared in disbelief. "They are inventing during the battle." Again, behind the shield, the human ships continued rising. Their leader, a small but fast vessel, broadcasted a message to all human channels. A human commander appeared on screen. Face dark with soot, suit torn, but eyes shining with fierce determination. He said only one sentence: "We fight for our home." "That is enough." The Council hall went silent. Then the human fleet launched a coordinated attack. Missiles fired in arcs. Laser cannons burned bright lines through the void. Small ships dove into dangerous positions, drawing enemy fire away from larger human cruisers. That it was chaos, but it was human chaos. Full of courage and unpredictable moves, the Vraken ship responded with heavy fire. Many human ships were hit. Some exploded, scattered into fragments of light. But instead of breaking morale, each loss only made the rest fight harder. A delegate whispered, almost in fear, "Humans are relentless." The advisor updated the data. Human ships are learning during battle. Their aim is improving. Their tactics are changing. Their coordination is increasing. How? Are they being guided? The advisor shook his head. No, they guide themselves. Human ground forces joined the counterattack. Surface cannons shot glowing bursts upward, striking the Vraken hull. Coastal bases launched more fighter ships. In underground labs, scientists worked frantically to modify energy cores, making new weapons faster than Vraken. Soldiers could destroy them. Humanity refused to stop. The Council saw something unbelievable. The Vraken command ship's outer armor began to crack. A long fracture spread across the surface like a spider web. They're breaking it. They are damaging the command ship. Lorik's eyes widened. If they break through, the Vraken will have to retreat. For the first time, hope appeared. But hope came with fear for everyone in the galaxy. Now understood something dangerous. If humans survive this war, they will become more powerful than anyone expected. And in that moment, as explosions lit the space around Earth, every delegate asked the same silent question: what will humanity become once the Vraken fall? The Galaxy Council hall shook with every explosion shown on the screens. The Vraken command ship, once a symbol of unstoppable power, now bore long cracks across its dark surface. Smoke leaked into space. Small fires burned inside broken sections of the hull, but the Vraken were far from defeated. In response to humanity's attack, the giant ship unleashed wave after wave of drones, thousands of them. Each drone glowed red, carrying weapons designed to tear apart entire cities. The Council gasped. They are preparing a full extermination. They want to end the battle quickly. Humans cannot fight so many, but the advisor interrupted. Wait, look at Earth. A new fleet rose from the planet. Not ships, machines. Silver and black autonomous drones, launched from hidden human bases across the world. Hundreds, then thousands. LORK blinked. What are those? The advisor scanned the shapes. Human-designed defense drones. Simple but effective. They were built recently. Very recently. Delegates stared in disbelief. They built drones during the battle? How do they work so fast? Humanity had no time for perfection. They built whatever they could. And they launched everything. The two swarms collided in space Vraken against human drone forces. The battle looked like two storms crashing into each other. Explosions flickered like stars going dark. Small debris swirled like deadly dust clouds. Human drones fought with strange tactics, ramming, swarming, attaching themselves to Vraken drones and detonating. The Vraken drones were stronger, but the human drones were everywhere. The advisor spoke again. Humans are programming their machines in real time. Their strategies change every few seconds. Lorik whispered, they are learning. But the battle was far from won. The Vraken command ship charged its front cannon. A massive sphere of red energy formed at its center, growing brighter and brighter. Even the space around it began to distort. Delegates panicked. If that fires, Earth is finished. Not even shields can block that. They must retreat. But humans did not retreat. Instead, the screens showed a quiet part of the ocean suddenly opening, like the sea itself was splitting apart. A massive human structure rose from the depths, a metallic platform glowing with blue light. What is that? The advisor ran scans. It appears to be a human-built energy amplifier. Lorik frowned. For what purpose? The answer came seconds later. A huge beam of blue-white energy shot from the ocean platform and connected to the human fleet above. Their weapons glowed brighter. Their shields strengthened. Their engines roared louder. They're boosting their entire fleet. This is impossible. No species can innovate so quickly. The advisor corrected the statement quietly. No other species. At the same time, human ground forces launched a final signal into space. A coded transmission spread across every battlefield and every human ship. The message was simple. All units push forward. And they did. Every human ship surged toward the Vraken command vessel. Shields brightened. Engines fired at full power. Missiles launched in huge waves. The Vraken cannon finally charged to maximum energy. The giant red sphere exploded forward, firing the deadly beam straight toward Earth. Delegates screamed. Lorik covered his mouth, but the humans anticipated it. 3 large human cruisers moved directly into the beam's path. Their shields held for only seconds, but those seconds were enough. The beam weakened, losing power, scattering like red dust before reaching the planet below. The cruisers were gone. But Earth was safe. A deep silence filled the council hall. They sacrificed themselves. For the planet. For each other. Even the coldest delegates felt something in their hearts. With the beam weakened, the human fleet pushed closer. Their amplified weapons hit the cracked Vraken hull again and again. The advisor's voice vibrated. The Vraken ship is losing integrity. A collapse is near. Lorik stood slowly, eyes wide. This is the turning point. On the screen, the Vraken command ship's armor finally split apart. Light burst through the cracks. The massive ship trembled. Shaking like a dying star, humanity had done the impossible. They were winning. and the galaxy was watching a new force rise, one that could no longer be ignored. The Galaxy Council Hall felt frozen in time. No one moved. No one spoke. All eyes were fixed on the giant screens showing the Vrakan command ship breaking apart in space. The cracks glowed brighter and brighter until the entire structure shone like a dying sun. Then, boom. The Vrakan ship exploded into thousands of burning fragments. Light filled the screen, turning shadows across every corner of the hall. Slowly, the pieces drifted apart, fading into the darkness of space. Humanity had won, but the victory did not bring comfort. Instead, a heavy silence settled over the council. Every delegate knew the truth. A new force had risen in the galaxy. A human force. High Speaker Lorik finally exhaled. His voice was quiet but steady. Earth has survived. But this victory changes everything. A tall, silver-skinned delegate stood. Humans destroyed a Vrakan command ship. Something no species has ever done. Another added, they built new weapons during the battle. They created shields stronger than ours. They adapted in minutes, not years. And they refused our help, someone whispered. They fought alone. Fear rippled across the room. What if humans become too powerful? What if they see us as weak? What if they believe we abandoned them? Lorik raised his staff. We must decide our relationship with humanity. Are they our allies or a threat? A nervous clicking sound came from the back row as a delegate spoke. If humans defeated the Vrakan, they may look at the council next. They may think we were watching for entertainment. Another shook his head. No, humans fight only when forced. If we show respect, they may accept us. Voices clashed again, rising like storms. They are dangerous. They are brave. They are unpredictable. They are protectors. Lorik watched them with a heavy heart. He understood their fear because he felt it too. Humanity had risen from chaos with strength no one saw coming. No council, no empire, no ancient species had ever evolved so fast. But humans had. Lorik spoke calmly. We must communicate with Earth, now. The advisor activated long-range communication systems. A message was sent. To the people of Earth, the Galaxy Council seeks peaceful contact. We wish to discuss the future. The hall waited. Seconds turned into minutes. Some delegates muttered anxiously. Others watched the screen with dread. Finally, the screen flickered. A human face appeared. It was the same commander who had spoken earlier, exhausted, dirty, still wearing a damaged combat suit. Behind him, sparks and smoke filled the room. The war was not fully over, but Earth still stood. The commander looked at the council with calm, sharp eyes. You were watching, he said simply. The hall froze. Every delegate felt exposed, as if the humans could see into their minds. Lorik struggled to find words. We monitored the battle to understand the threat. The commander nodded slowly. The galaxy is full of dangers. Now you know our world has faced one alone. Some delegates cringed, expecting anger or threats. But the commander continued, voice strong but controlled. Humanity does not seek war with the council. We fight only to protect our home. But understand this. He leaned closer to the screen. If the Vrakan return, we will be ready. And we will not fight alone if you stand with us. The hall gasped. Humans were not demanding submission. They were offering alliance. Lorik felt relief wash over him. You have our respect. And you have our support. The commander nodded once. Good. The galaxy is changing. We must change with it. The transmission ended. For a long moment, the council remained silent. Then, slowly, delegates began to stand. One by one, they raised their hands in agreement. The council had made its choice. Humanity would not be feared. Humanity would be honored. Humanity would lead the new alliance. Lorak felt hope rise for the first time. Let this be recorded. Today, Earth survived. And today, the galaxy gained its strongest ally. As the screens dimmed and the hall lights rose, every delegate understood the truth. Humanity had defended their world. And in doing so, they had changed the future of the galaxy forever.